What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you all. We are now live here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. We're also live over on Twitch, and we're also live over on Kick. If you are new to any of those platforms, please subscribe, hit the follow, and all that fun stuff. Hit that bell notification, be notified when we go live. It is Monday, June the 9th, 2025. As always, guys, it's me. It is Steve. And I hope, again, you all had a wonderful weekend doing whatever it is that you guys normally do. And a lot of fun stuff. And yeah, guys. And of course, I'm not alone here, joined by the good brother from beautiful, sunny California, the one, the only Chase Oliver. Chase, what's up, brother?
Nothing much, Steve.
Um, a lot of stuff went down this weekend in the world of wrestling, and also UFC 316 went down in my neck of the woods. What's going on, everyone in the chat? What's up, Safed? What's up, Alan the Working Man? Mr. Iguana will be World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 42. He also writes here, R-Truth is back for revenge, and Mr. Iguana is more over than Jey Uso. I love the fact, bro, that Mr. Iguana, and you know what? We'll just get into this right now because, again, there's a lot of stuff to cover here, basically. But let's just, again, I'm just happy as all hell, bro, that Mr. Iguana, dude, was like the breakout star of the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see that. Like, bro, he literally had a breakout performance, and I can just imagine, bro, like WWE is gonna be selling a shitload of those stuffed animals down the road.
Yeah, the
Cannot wait
Alaska. Yeah, she gonna be a merch mover, that's for sure.
for
Yeah,
sure,
I
man.
always knew that he was gonna do well when he got seen by a WWE crowd. He's like I've been watching wrestling for a long time, so I kind of know what WWE crowds like and what they don't like. And I had no doubt in my mind that Mr. Iguana was going to be massively over. He looks different than most of the other luchadors. He has a stuffed animal that he fights with. I knew he was going to be over, and especially because he can also back it up in the ring. But yeah, good for him. I'm very happy for him. He's always been a favorite whenever we done the Triple Mania watch alongs on the True Heat channel. So very happy to see that it's I actually talked to Mr. Iguana. Me and Mr. Iguana, I would say he's a good friend. He liked my tweet when I was super happy that he made the poster. And then I messaged him and I said, "Hey man, Felicitatis on all the good success, and I can't wait because I feel like a lot of people are gonna love you." And he said, "Thanks, bro. Gonna be a big audience. I'm excited." And so he responded in English, so like he can speak English for anyone who doesn't know, I guess. So or he just translated, but he, I'm happy for him, man, because like he was always he's a fan favorite when we watch Triple A. So I'm glad that more people are seeing him, and yeah, he's gonna do well. He's gonna do well whether he's with NXT or anything. So yeah, he's gonna translate well.
Oh, of course, dude. I can't wait to see him, honestly, dude, when he enters that Royal Rumble next year. Should they feature some AAA, which I would assume they would, right? Can you imagine him entering, I don't know, like number 15 in that stadium, getting that big reaction? It's gonna be crazy, bro. And again, um, I'm just happy for the guy. I really, really am. And I look forward to seeing what else he does. And again, like I said, like we've just mentioned moments ago, the moment they start selling like Layeska, like stuffed animals, bro, it's gonna move. It's gonna move like hotcakes. Uh, but overall, look, this past weekend there was two events and very newsworthy stuff here. I did not get to catch Money in the Bank live like everyone else. I had to watch it yesterday being that I was at a family event. But I did catch Worlds Collide. I'll tell you what, Chase. What do you want to like? Do you want to do Money in the Bank first or
We can
Worlds
do
Collide?
worlds.
Like,
We can do worlds collide first. It's much a quicker show to talk about. We can just speed through that one, and so
yeah, yeah. Chief right here. Yeet. Can't believe WWE worked this site. Truth was definitely gone. Shout out to Nick Khan. He tapped in.
yeah,
Uh,
Nikon saved us. Nikon got Raw and the Truth Killings.
the report is that they want to invite him. They want to invite him to NXT.
That
Him
makes
and
sense.
yeah, him in NXT, bro, would definitely fit like a glove. And also, real soon to talk that Mike Santana might be making his way there too. I know his deal ends at the end of the year, and he's impressed a lot of people backstage. So good for him,
Hmm.
man. But yeah, let's get into Worlds Collide. I thought, honestly, dude, out of the two shows, this was probably the better show out of the two. for my liking. And also, this was also an introduction for a lot of people who may not be familiar with AAA or Lucha Libre as a whole. This is probably for a lot of people uh, their first visual of what this scene is like in Mexico and all that stuff. And they use a traditional wrestling ring. There was not a hexagon like we see these AAA shows. Um, they had the Mexican color, red, green, red, white, and green ropes and all that stuff. And I thought overall, the show as a whole was pretty good. They had Conan and Corey Graves on commentary. Shout out to Corey Graves, hit a home run. Conan, look, I know he's going through a lot with his health, but I think it was good to have him there, someone who knows the story, the history of AAA. So it was good to have him there. But there are moments where I'm like, okay, every time he would say, "Can I say something? Can I say something?" But overall, I thought the two best matches on the show was obviously the Fatal 4-Way and the AAA World Title match. Your thoughts, Chase?
Yeah, no, yeah, the two last main events. Romeo and I watched them together because I didn't get to watch Worlds Collide live, and so he said, "Hey, did you want to watch the last two matches? But we got to watch them in Spanish. If you watch it in English, it's not the same." And I am going to echo what he has been telling people is that you have to watch those last two matches in Spanish because the Spanish commentators do such a better job compared to like Conan. Corey Graves was great. Conan, he was kind of yeah, he was kind of boring on the commentary. I was hoping that Mike Tenay was going to be there. There was like that random report that said that Mike Tenay might be at Worlds Collide, and I was going to be so excited to see the Professor Mike Tenay back because Mike Tenay, he knows all these motherfuckers. So I was really excited for that, but unfortunately he wasn't there. Neither was our good friend Larry Dallas. He wasn't commentary either. I thought Larry Dallas would have been pretty awesome for this spot right here, but yeah, really fun show indeed. It's a harmless show. It's a showcase show, so I don't rate showcase shows that high because it's just more of like, oh, this was just for fun, and it's not something where I'm like, oh, okay, like this is going to impact certain storylines going forward. So I can't rate it that high, but in terms of like quality, you definitely got a lot of good quality on this show, especially with those last two matches. So yeah, it was fun. I think damn it and Money in the Bank are kind of tied in my opinion, just because, like I said, I don't rate showcase shows super highly. It's just there for a showcase.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Um, Also, again, like we got everything. We got the debut of Mr. Iguana on the show, and obviously, later on because of what Octagon Jr. got the win for his team. There was a little scuffle with Dominic Mysterio, and because of that, they made a fifth match chase after all at Money in the Bank. I know in the preview we did there were only 4 matches, but they made 5 matches after all. Um, Gable was not there, Alan. What was not there, Alan? Uh, Shout out to Gable, put on a match of the year versus Vikingo, and then the men's ladder match. Oh no, look, man, Alan, you may be confused, brother. Well, we saw Chad Gable, yeah, he killed it with Vikingo. But what you saw in that ladder match, that was El Grande Americano, man. We've explained this before. Like, it's 2 different people, Alan. 2 different people, you know. But again, for anyone out there, if anything, go back and rewatch, just the 2 matches that we mentioned. And again, I didn't watch them in Spanish. So I can imagine like those commentators were just going ape shit, right? On commentary.
Much
Like
better viewing experience.
like in Japan, like when was like the new Japan stuff on the Japanese commentary was like that almost same energy.
Yeah, no, it's like if you were watching AAA and Max in Spanish all the time. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's much better. It fits with the whole theme too because they're doing all the announcements in Spanish too. So it fits with everything that's going on. It actually fits much better than like the English commentary.
For sure. And again, people got to finally see El Hijo del Vikingo, the WWE universe, that is the audience, right? They got to see El Hijo del Vikingo
Yeah.
and versus Chad Gable, which is crazy to think. Like a year and a half ago, he wrestled Kenny Omega on Dynamite, and now here he is wrestling Chad Gable. And Chad Gable, shout out to him too, bro. They killed it. They killed it for the most part. But I will say again, Worlds Collide was probably the better show out of the 2 for the most part. Then you had Money in the Bank. I thought, honestly, it's all right. Nothing to really go crazy about. Like we were kind of like correct in most of our predictions here. We were correct. Um, except obviously the return of what we saw at the end. But Chase, anything you want to say about Money in the Bank as a whole? Like, what did you like? What did you not like?
It was fine. Lyra versus Becky was good. Men's Money in the Bank over delivered. Other than that, it was fine. I don't know what else to say about it. It was fine. Our truth, Ron Killings returns, and it's like, wow, that was shocking. Other than that,
Yeah.
it
You
was it was okay.
Yeah, for the most part. Like again, I didn't watch it live like everyone else. I caught the playback. I did see like there's, I guess, like near the beginning of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, there are a lot of empty seats, but then
Oh
people just
yeah,
start filing
this
in.
this this is LA, bro. Like, I think WWE should have done it a lot better where, um, they spaced out the shows because those two venues are close to each other. So I understand what they're thinking, but they need to understand they're on West Coast time, and so when Worlds Collide ended at like 3 o'clock, people are going around that area trying to find places to eat. They want to eat real food. They don't want to eat arena food. So they're going to restaurants, they're eating and stuff. So they're going to take their time getting into the Intuit Dome. And the Intuit Dome too, if it's your first time going to that venue, you have to do the whole ID verify, and you have to download the app. You have to like check yourself in because the Intuit Dome, a lot of people don't know. It's literally like you just have the app, and then once you walk, you don't need like a ticket scan or anything. You just walk in. You walk in the first time, and they'll know it's you based off the ticket and stuff like that. And then if you go into the merch shop, if you grab merch, they'll know what credit card you have on file. They'll charge that card for however many merch you grab. Same with food, same with drinks. Like it's a whole different experience than any other stadium. It's literally just a bunch of cameras monitoring like everyone's activity and stuff. Like they of course have ushers and stuff, but it's a whole different venue. And so pretty much I think people they were just like, you know, it's LA. They're gonna be late to events anyways, and so yeah, the people didn't come until probably after like during the Dom and Octagon match. That's when the venue started to fill up.
Yeah, Chase, you might know more about this because you live in that area. You live in LA. Were those protests going on Saturday too, or did they start on Sunday?
No, they started on Sunday. They started Sunday more than Saturday. Like Saturday, there was a lot of if you guys don't know what protests are going on, ICE versus immigrants protests and stuff. So if you guys want to know what we're talking about in terms of protests, those were the protests going on. There's been a lot of big time ICE activity here in California, and especially here in Southern California since we're closer to the border and closer to like a lot of ICE detention centers. So yeah, it's a horrible thing, and I wish all my friends and family, all my friends that have family members that are immigrants, I pray for them, and I hope that nothing bad happens to them, and I hope they can uh, be free of this bullshit. Honestly, in my opinion, like a lot of people
Yeah,
would think just because I'm not of brown heritage and I am not Hispanic that I would be like a typical white person in this saying, "Oh yeah, let's get rid of all the illegals." That's not me whatsoever. My
same.
grandparents, both of them, are immigrants. They immigrated from Indonesia to California with my great grandma and my grandma with all her family members and my grandpa by himself. Like my grandpa, he immigrated on a boat by himself to get to California, like just him on a boat. And it wasn't until he got picked up that he was able to, come to California. He was able to lie his way to America and stuff. And I'm a big believer that America is the land of the free, and I feel whether you're an immigrant or not, you should be considered an American and you should have a chance to be living your life free. This is the land of opportunity, not the land of uh getting rid of people that like getting rid of people that are doing good for us. Like I understand people that are actual criminals, but for people that have family members and have not committed a crime, I think it's just like it's just horrible. It's just
Yeah, it
horrible
is.
what's going on and stuff. So I grew up with a family full of immigrants, and I'm a second generation United States citizen. I'm not a first. Like my mom's a first generation, my aunt's a first generation. I'm a second generation of a United States citizen, and I truly believe that we should be fighting to help protect people instead of hurting people. Out, out, out.
Yeah, I 100% agree, brother. 100% agree. Um, but it's crazy what's going on, and hopefully all this, gets, what's what I'm looking for, gets straightened out. You know what I mean? But let's continue on here. Let's continue on here as well. Safet writes here in the Safet writes here. Shout out to Lola and Stephanie for doing the double devil's kiss at Worlds Collide. Yeah, and also the fact that Stephanie McCurr did the devil's kiss on Rhea Ripley on the ladder.
Yeah,
that was crazy as well. And also shout out to Stephanie McCurr for doing. Yeah, you just mentioned that. This just really just caught there. But for the most part, yeah, man. Look, the big thing out of this whole show, it wasn't the fact that Cody Rhodes pinned John Cena, right? It wasn't even that. It was the fact that we saw the return of R-Truth. Ron Killing, that's how he's going by now, right? Showed up, dressed up, in a black ski mask, right? Speared Cena, right? Laid him off with the belt. And now he's back, right? And he's now going by Ron Killings, no longer going by R-Truth. And look, it got a big reaction. I know people are in this whole debate whether or not was it a work, was it a shoot, right? I know Triple H and the media scrum said, "Oh, it's all part of the show." At this point, look, I just don't care. I'm happy that he's back. I'm just happy to see him back. I know everyone, voiced their opinion. They were, doing the chant, "We want truth" on Raw and on NXT and on SmackDown, I believe, as well. And look, he's finally back. And again, there was a discussion that we mentioned moments ago. I think it was Romeo who mentioned this in the chat. I think it was Romeo, right? Nick Khan. Nick Khan was the one who, my bad, no, it was Chief. Nick Khan tapped in, contacted Truth, and got him to come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane, bro. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no. Happy that Ron Killings has a job again, and shout out to the fans. We did something good. We got someone employed back into WWE. And it's not, and also not just us. The talent and performers had a lot of love for this guy. For people who think it's a work, you're working yourself. I don't know. Like, that's just on you. Like, you want to believe everything's a work in professional wrestling, that's fine. But I don't believe this is a work because TKO has shown to be a savage type company when it comes to budget cuts and everything that they want to do. So that, I mean, when they bought UFC, they got rid of Matt Hamill and Chuck Liddell that were on lifetime contracts for the UFC. Got rid of veterans like that because they were cap casualties. And no surprise to me, like when R-Truth got released, when people were like, "What the why?" It's like, hey man, it was probably a cap casualty that they couldn't do it. But also, Ron Killings felt disrespected by WWE. Like, not even Triple H had to call to tell him the news. It was like someone lower than Triple H that told him, "Hey, you're being let go." And you would think if it's Ron Killings, like, like, who knows? Maybe Ron Killings would have been cool with, like, like taking less pay to stay with WWE. We don't know what some people's ambitions and motivations are, and he did the right thing. He didn't settle with like anyone from WWE calling. He's like, "No, you guys said fuck you. I'm gonna say fuck you. I'm not gonna listen to any of the calls that you guys are trying to do." And then Nick Khan called, and he wanted to see what Nick Khan was going to say. And Nick Khan, a guy that really, to be honest, the only thing he does for WWE is help media rights deals and everything else. Like, that's all that's all he does. Like, he's not like a guy that focuses on the talent. And he's the guy that really pushed for R-Truth to come back, Ron Killings to come back to WWE, and was able to work a deal and stuff. So happy for him, and I hope the fans are happy. Now we're gonna get Ron Killings more in a major role. So if you're someone that's like against that, just know that this is what they're gonna just is what they're gonna do, just based off his reaction. So keep supporting him in this major role that he's gonna get pushed into as of this time. And honestly, like, it's not a work. There's no
It's
way
not a
this was a
work.
work.
It's
Yeah,
not a work.
like, people that are trying to think that this is a work, they're just in their own little world.
They're
A work,
working themselves into a shoe,
yeah.
basically.
If it was a work, he would have been fired on TV. That's when you know it's a work. But
Yeah.
if it's a shoot, like, the way he got fired is the way he got fired originally, or the way he got released or let go, cut, or they telling him he was not renewing his contract. So, but yeah, shout out to him for getting the bag, and shout out to him for showing others like, hey, like don't take calls from anyone else. Let jolly old Saint Nick call, the real MVP of WWE.
Exactly. Matter of fact, it was just posted by WWE on their Twitter like 30 minutes ago or so. Ron Killings will speak for the first time following his shocking return to Money in the Bank tonight on Raw.
This
So
is a really big episode of Raw.
So he's opening the show. I want to believe he's opening tonight's Raw for sure, right? Or it's probably later on in the night. I know they got the world title match. They got a potential cash in today, right? Being that Raw did win Money in the Bank, right?
Queen of the Ring qualifiers. Nikki Bella returns.
Exactly.
There's rumored that there's going to be another big return. Like a lot of stuff happening. This is probably one of the bigger Raws of this year. So hopefully they can deliver on the entertainment factor. That's for sure. But in terms of like pre-show hype, this is a pretty hype card. I'm actually pretty excited to see what WWE does tonight.
Yeah, because technically now, like the next PLE is basically SummerSlam. So now we're off to the races on the road to SummerSlam. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what goes down. Right?
That's not the next PLE.
Is it really? I thought it was. Oh, Clash of Champions. I'm sorry, the Saudi Arabia
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions,
and then we have Evolution. Yeah.
Evolution.
We have two PLEs before.
I'm sorry.
Before SummerSlam.
Yeah, we might have to watch. We might have to.
Yeah.
But ain't it? Yeah, we might have to watch Raw.
Yeah, you have the link, Romeo. You can come in and watch the show with us.
Yeah, later tonight. Yeah, we can do that. When R-Truth returned, I popped so hard, bro. I wanted him to beat Cena for the title and save wrestling. That's from Weston. John Cena versus Ron Killings might be the main event at Night of Champions. Could be.
Yeah, and that's good that Weston feels that way about R-Truth. Like that's what you want. You want people to feel this way for R-Truth, and him getting a push. And age is only the number when it comes to pro wrestling. And Ron Killings, has defied age. He looks great for his age. He moves fine for his age. He can wrestle okay for his age. Like he's not like Ron Killings is not horrible in the ring. Like people need to understand. Like there's certain points where wrestlers they kind of know what they need to do to provide entertainment. Ron Killings figured out what he needed to do to provide entertainment during his time in WWE, and he had all the check marks. So there's no need to open the proverbial bag of all the moves and skill set that he can do. Like he's shown that he can be fine when called upon. And if it's a more serious Ron Killings facing a John Cena, that's a very good thing when it comes to what we're going to see inside of the ring. But you want fans like Weston to feel like that. You want people to feel like I want Ron Killings to win the world title. And look, for how Cena's been right now, and if they want to stat pad Cena, I'm okay with the short title reign. And then you stat pad Cena to get 18 world championships if you want to do that. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think Cena. I don't know who they're going to have Cena drop the belt to, but I think they have an idea. But I don't know who that person is.
Of course. You can still hear me, right? Can you still hear me?
Yes, Steve.
Cool. Good. That my thing froze for a second, but we're good. We're back. We're so back. But yeah, man. Also factor into we don't know the length of this new deal for R-Truth. So if this is his last run per se, again, we don't know.
A couple years. They said a
couple years. Okay. Because I wasn't aware. Yeah. So I hope they make the most out of this. They capitalize and also factor into, bro. This is gonna hit on a doc when they do a documentary on R-Truth. This is gonna be like the crazy part about it. Oh yeah, okay. You explain what happened on this day and so. Like it's gonna be crazy for sure. But you know what I mean. Like later on, like R-Truth. Ron Killings is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Of course he is. Absolutely, I believe he's the first African American to win the NWA World Title, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there you go.
If you don't count again any of that NWA WCW stuff, yeah, he is.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm happy for the guy. I think everyone else is, and let's see what they go from here and all that stuff. But also, let's move on here. Let's move on because again, still, we're still on the West Coast topics here. It was also announced during Money in the Bank that, well, the worst kept secret, right? The worst kept secret. they had already announced the dates for WrestleMania 42. Yep, it's back in Las Vegas. Saturday, April 18th and Sunday, April 19th, 2026 from Allegiant Stadium. Your thoughts on that logo, Chase?
I'm not a fan. It's so it
It's not a
just looks
poker
like
card. Not the
it just
poker
looks like
cards.
a generic like Vegas T-shirt, like when you go by those gift shops in Las Vegas, and you've seen them a couple of times. You've been in Vegas a good amount of times. Like those generic ass T-shirts you see. That's what it looks like. It just looks like they just put WrestleMania on the bottom and they added the WWE logo. Not a fan. I hope this
Yeah,
is just a temporary logo and
I
then they're gonna
hope so
change it.
too. I hope so.
But
Because
yeah,
this,
that cool. I'm glad. I'm glad WWE they're gonna make their money. So shout out. I mean,
yeah,
makes the New Orleans. Why can't they do it the same weekend as New Orleans? Like, what the fuck? Like, the New Orleans one was earlier in April. Why is it this one now being pushed to Easter Sunday again?
I have no. I think for them, if I'm the guess, because again, what do I know, right? Um, they realize, oh, we made the most money on that weekend in particular. So let's repeat that again, right? Versus had they done this, beginning like they were supposed to in New Orleans, isn't that the same time if the Final Four and stuff like that? Or like because again, I'm just assuming here, I could be wrong.
No, I know that. I just don't understand why they couldn't just do it the earlier weekend. Like, the reason why they did it this year was because of the fact that they want to compete with the Final Four. Who cares if the Final Four is in town?
I don't know. But
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I,
That's
I
all.
do.
That's all I'm saying. I don't care what. I don't get it. It's whatever. Oh, it's not Easter
It's
this time. They're not doing it on
nice,
Easter
Tris.
Sunday.
No, I guess they're not. But again, I do hope that that logo is not the final logo because if I'm looking at this right now, this looks like the top part looks AI as fuck.
Hey, see, we don't have to do videos about surviving Las Vegas. We already did them.
We already did that already.
We can keep spamming.
Exactly. Just you know what? We're just gonna. There you go. It's on the channel. There you go. But we said.
You know what we could do? We could actually do. Uh, we can just do like tips and tricks of actually being guests during WrestleMania weekend. We can talk about like just like that. We can talk about like actually surviving the weekend of
Oh,
WrestleMania. I feel like
simple
we could
for
do that
us.
instead.
Simple. Instead of 5 day, doing 3 days. That's it. 3 days. Friday, Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday.
fuck.
Friday,
Can't do another
Saturday,
5 days in Vegas. That I was miserable
Yeah.
during Saturday and Sunday because I was so it's not the fact that it wasn't even like I couldn't gamble or anything. It was just being in that city for so long. It's just like you just get drained a little bit. You're just a little bit more drained and tired, and there's a lot of things going on and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think the max I would do is like I would go 4 days, like 4 days, like and stuff like just arrive the Thursday. I think the Wednesday we just kind of didn't know what to expect with like WWE World and everything like that. But I feel
Now
like
we
if we knew
know.
I feel like if we knew what we were doing and stuff, maybe the 5 days is fine. It's just like instead of arriving the in the morning during the or the afternoon the fifth day like we did, arrive like straight at nights and then we just go straight to bed. You know what I'm saying? You just go
Yeah.
straight to bed and type of shit. So
WrestleMania 4 and 5, Trump Plaza in
yeah,
Atlantic City.
that was the last
So
time.
yes. But hopefully, you know what though, Chase. Again, I'm with you on that too. If it's not Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm open to arriving there Thursday night. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm open to do as well. But again, we'll see how this goes. Someone tell Dwayne, call Travis. They need to fiend again. Oh, I
Yeah.
hope not. Fiend. I
Yeah, I've learned from my experience for this biggest trip is that I'll do WWE World. Like if I'm going with other people who haven't done it before, I'll definitely check out the superstore to see what merchandise they have and stuff. But WrestleCon, I'm good.
I'm good.
I think I did it, to me it's okay. I don't need to pay more money to meet wrestlers. I think it's a very expensive WrestleCon, so I'm good
Yeah.
on WrestleCon, and I'm good on other wrestling events. I felt like I did what I didn't do in LA, where I went to
You,
enough wrestling events. Like
you,
it was
I will
fine.
say this. I'll say this. I know we went to the Janela spring break, right? I feel like honestly, if I could change one thing, because we're both into the MMA stuff, I would have switched it for Bloodsport.
Yeah,
Had it not
I
been the
think the only
TNA.
good thing with I think the only good thing about TNA is we saw the Hardys and that barbed wire match was pretty badass. Like so, like
Yeah.
that was like something that we weren't going to see out of WWE that weekend. But yeah, if like Bloodsport was a different night, I for sure would have definitely liked to see that, or you know, seen another like. I think Spring Break was a miss. Like I feel like we should have gone to like another show that was like more like indie style based, if you get what I'm saying. Like that just
Yeah.
like more like a freaking just like that focuses purely on in ring, like more like an AEW style show. We should have went to an indie like
This is
that
where
instead of
Tony dropped the
instead of
ball.
yeah, like if Ring of Honor, like let's say if Tony changes his mind and he brings Ring of Honor to Vegas next year, that show I'll be like, yeah, I'll do a Ring of Honor. I don't see an issue with that and stuff because like I feel like we get enough of the WWE side. Oh, and we know the trick for Stand and Deliver. We're gonna buy the cheapest seats, Steve, so we can get upgraded again.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're gonna buy like
Join
no
out the
we know
nosebleeds.
we know which areas they're gonna tarp off. So we're gonna buy the areas that they're gonna tarp off, like the 220 somethings. We're gonna buy off those tarp off areas. We're gonna head to the venue fucking early as hell, and then we were gonna get our floor seats like we did last time. That's
For sure.
we know the trick to stand and deliver. We know that trick and stuff. Like oh, my
Yes.
fear is I think they might move stand and deliver though, just because it
They
didn't
might.
sell well. But if they move it to
The
uh,
Apex.
no, the Garden. I hope they move it to MGM Garden Arena. That one, I will go anytime. I love the Garden. That's like my favorite Vegas
The
venue.
nostalgia too, like all the historic fights
But
and
every seat is good too. So like it doesn't
yeah.
matter where you're sitting. You feel like you're close to the action. You can hear everything. Like it's. I love the Garden. I think the Garden is like one of the best venues that they have in Vegas. Or if they do it at Mandalay, that's also not a bad arena either. And stuff. You went to Mandalay. Like you never experienced a garden though and stuff. You got to experience a garden as
No,
a fight.
I
I
have
mean, you
not.
experienced Mandalay and you enjoyed it. You liked it more that you're like, oh, I get to walk the arena. Like you've pretty much been to every arena in Vegas. Like the
Yeah.
only one you haven't really been to is MGM. So you and the
No, I have
Sphere
not.
obviously, but
Yeah.
we're talking about traditional arenas. Like you
Yeah.
definitely got to go to MGM Garden. So I hope
Me,
they bring NXT
yeah.
to the Garden.
You know me, I remember T-Mobile, me being the Mizark that I was. Hey, but this where the fighters walk? I had to ask that question. And they're like, no,
No,
they
we were on
walk the
the
opposite.
yeah, they walked the opposite. Honestly, bro, the way those floor staff were, you probably could have walked that way and they wouldn't have said shit, dude. They just let me kind of walk around at one point. They
No, for
didn't care
sure.
what I was doing.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that stuff. Yes. Remember Sabu got his last match against Joey Janela, the spring break show. Yes.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was cool to see that. I'm just saying, like, as
The
someone that's
bartender.
done it, like for me, Sapet, I felt I wanted a different palette. Like, what I'm saying is that
Different.
GCW was cool, but it's like TNA kind of like did what GCW did, and in some sense, where GCW just felt like one, it just felt like it was like any other wrestling show, like it just felt like like any other outlaw mud show, and and also the undercard wasn't that good. That's why I was like, I would have liked a more pure style wrestling show where it was just like like what Ring of Honor, what AEW brings to the table, like in
Yeah.
terms of that style of wrestling. So that way we get that fix in there where we get the good in ring matches fix out of the way. So it's like, oh, cool. We saw TNA where TNA, it's like, yes, they do provide good in ring matches, but they're a little bit more like tamed a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
they're not as like crazy, like I needed like some good flippy shit, some goofy ass flippy shit where I'm like, oh shit, this was flippy as hell and stuff like that. So yeah, so like yeah, I'm with Cheap. That was only a good part of GCW meeting
Yeah.
Javon Evans. And I met Jinder, so that was pretty cool.
Yes.
So but yeah, yeah.
Hopefully though, Chase, next year's WrestleMania experience can be a little bit more glamorous.
Yesterday's
Uh,
price is not the same as today's price.
we got it, like you said, we got it for the cheap, bro.
You know
Yes.
what we should do, Steve? We should print out our if you go this next year, if she has an autograph signing, we should definitely try to go for the autograph signing. We should try to do the photo and the autograph and stuff. Take the
Yeah.
photo with her, but get her to sign our original WrestleCon photos to see if she remembers. And so I'm pretty sure she'll remember. Like if
She'll
we come
probably
up,
remember. We just come up. Hey, do you remember us?
no,
It's funny enough. Like, it's funny enough. Like, I tagged her on Twitter and I put, the hangover guy. I figured she would have liked or something. Nothing. It's fine. But yeah, we should
She's probably
definitely
not on
consider it.
social media like that.
Yeah, but yes, on Tuesday during NXT, um, during the JC Jane segment, she's still the champion, obviously. And all the entire women roster came out and they all started brawling. And in my mind, I'm watching this. I'm like, you know, I don't know what it is, but something tells me that someone's new gonna show up, right? And I'm like, I'm waiting for, and then it happened. The lights went out and the camera panned to the balcony area. And you see the spotlight, a part of it, and everyone just lost it as Mariah May made her NXT debut. And here's the thing: if you notice, they didn't call her Mariah May. It has been reported that she will get a new name, just like Ricky Saints did. So expect that. Um, but yeah, man, look, I'm not surprised by this at all. If you guys remember, years ago, she was a model for WWE Shop. So and also this was her dream to work for WWE. So I'm happy that she's finally getting to live her dream. I know there's some people who have said on social media, "Oh, Tony fumbled." No, he didn't. Tony got the best out of Mariah May.
Yeah.
And what I mean with that is Mariah May versus Timeless Tony Storm is one of the best stories that they've ever done. One of the in AEW's history. So he got the most that he got from her from that.
Yeah, it was like the Raptors with what they got for Kawhi Leonard. They got a championship, and then he left
Exactly.
afterwards. So it's like that's how I compare Mariah May's run. Is that it was a Kawhi Leonard Toronto Raptor run. She accomplished a lot. She raised her stock. She raised her value, and it allowed WWE to get on WWE's radar. WWE, like I'm just being honest, she was still in Stardom doing this. They wouldn't even call it. They wouldn't even care. They're just looking at it as this. But since she did this for AEW, and that's WWE's primary competition for the United States audience. Like, keep in mind, WWE really cares about the US. Both WWE and AEW internationally, they know what they have there. But the United States audience is always going to be the core audience for WWE and AEW. If a guy from New Japan is available and they feel is a huge star that can connect with the US audience, of course they're going to go after them. But Mariah May was not going to get any interest just wrestling Stardom at all. Mariah May being able to do what she did, and keep in mind, other Stardom wrestlers, they have to do tryout matches just to get into WWE. So this is nothing new. Mariah May, she did enough in AEW to raise her star power, to raise her equity as a performer, and it paid off big for her. And and look, she was honest about what she wanted to do. She didn't burn any bridges. She didn't do anything to Tony Khan, to be honest. And she'll always have a place back in AEW if they want her back.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe the offer's not going to be the same. Whatever money that they were offering before won't be the same, but she'll always have a place to go back to if this doesn't work out. And hopefully it does work out for her. I think she's going to be totally fine, just because one, the petty AEW push. It's like in the WWE rules. If you were in AEW and you were somewhat of a star, they're going to push you really heavy to prove a point. And it's like that one report that came out where a lot of AEW wrestlers saw how Penta was being presented and pushed. They were like, "Oh, he's being put. I'm going to be pushed the same." Not every wrestler's as talented as Penta. That's the disparity there that a lot of people need to. And I hope a lot of people in the AEW roster understand is that Penta is on a different level of star and talent than most of them. But if you did do something of note in All Elite Wrestling, you would behoove yourself to hear what WWE's offering, because you will get the petty push. You will get an opportunity, because they are going to try their best to recruit other talented people from AEW come their negotiation time, so that way they can recruit them to WWE. That's just how it's going to be. And getting a woman like Mariah May, who was not a main eventer, but a top star in their AEW women's division.
Former women's champion.
Yeah, former women's champion, a person that left a mark there. That's good. If fans want to be mad that she turned down AEW, that's on you. But to me, I feel like we should be supporting the wrestlers doing their thing. And I think that she'll get whatever money she's missing, she'll get it back in the long run.
Exactly.
I think she's fine in the end. Like she's gonna do good. She's gonna do good no matter what. So I think fans
Yes.
need to calm down on that. So
Yes. Fans got to just chill, be happy. She's living her dream. And I can't wait to see what she does. And likely, um, if there's ever a time, because again, we said this, I've said this moments ago, maybe last week or so, whatever it was. JC Jane just screams transitional champion. And I do think the time for her to drop that title. And again, we talked about the moments ago, the petty push, right? All because you were in AEW. Imagine them giving Mariah May the women's title at the Great American Bash, the same night, the same day as All In.
it's either Great American Bash or they put it on Evolution. Like either or, she's getting the title around that time.
Yeah. And again, I can't wait to see it. She's beautiful. She literally checks all the marks the WWE wants, right, in their female talent. And can't wait to see what she does. Cannot wait. Um, Before we put a bow on let's talk a little bit about UFC 316 that went down this Saturday at the Prudential
Man,
Center.
we're skipping one of the biggest news that could affect AEW.
See, okay. Well, I'm not really. I'll let you more talk about that.
We can't skip that. Come on, Steve. Like this is some decent
I'll let.
news.
See, I don't know how to word it, so I'll let you just. You know what I mean? I'll let you talk about it
Yeah,
more.
Warner Brothers and Discovery merger is not ended up happening. So Warner Brothers and Discovery are going to split, and AEW seems like they're going to be on a different side than where David Zaslav on. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this media rights deal is going to be for AEW, and if the other guy that's going to be running it is going to be like David Zaslav and keep his end of the bargain. I think AEW will be fine at the end of the day, but it's just interesting that Zaslav is just giving up on sports altogether. Like he it's not just AEW he's giving up on. He's giving up on hockey, baseball, NASCAR, tennis, everything that's on that max. So I'm curious to someone like me who doesn't have like a cable provider, where is it that AEW is going to be home to in the next year in terms of the streaming service? Like, because it seems like Max is going to be changing once again and stuff. And it should have been a thing. I should have known something was up when, if you guys don't pay attention, Max used to be HBO Max. And then sometime late last year, when this Warner Brothers Discovery merger was happening, Max just became HBO Max just became Max. It was just Max. Max. And now, for whatever reason, later this month, they're going back to HBO Max. So I was like, why are they going back to HBO Max? That should have been a signal to me that there was something wrong going on. And this merger wasn't going to happen just because they couldn't. Like, look, New York wasn't going to cover all the debts that Warner's in. Warner is in serious debt. A lot of people don't realize that. That's why they couldn't offer big money for an NBA package, because they're in debt. They scrapped movies that were finished. They scrapped movies that could have made them money and stuff. So Warner's in serious trouble when it comes to debt. So yeah, it's just interesting. I hope AEW will be fine in
Me
terms of
too.
media, but because they really tied their eggs in the WBD basket, AEW. And the reason why I say this is that, like, they gave WBD pretty much everything: media library, Dynamite, and Collision. It's not like AEW and Rampage at the time. AEW doesn't have their eggs in any other basket. Like, there's no other basket. It's not like we're WWE. Because remember when WWE, they wanted to show USA Network that they could sell their shows anywhere else, but NBC Universal was saying, no, you can't. That's why NXT, SmackDown, and Raw were a thing. That's one of the reasons why WWE wanted to create a network for the longest time, was to show that their media library was awesome, and that their ultimate end goal was supposed to be that they would get enough sponsorship money and all this other stuff where they could just host everything on the network. And obviously, we know that failed because the WWE network is no longer a thing. So
Sadly.
and NBC Universal was pretty much like, when SmackDown was up in like 2018, it was 2018. They were pretty much like challenging WWE to go find somewhere that would pay the value that WWE wanted for SmackDown, and SmackDown tricked Fox into signing a $1 billion deal, and WWE has still kept good relations with NBC. for the most part. Obviously, they brought back SmackDown and at a good price. Uh, NXT went from USA to the CW. Raw is now on Netflix, and we're seeing that relationship. Peacock, as of now, has all the WWE media library, so it's like they're in talks with a bunch of different companies, and these companies will offer money to WWE because they know WWE is helping their revenue out. That's why SmackDown's staying 3 hours on USA Network. They're like, yeah, whatever we put in that third hour instead of SmackDown, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. It's not the same value. It's not the same. Um, it's not the same value at all. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see where it leads to AEW. I hope AEW's fine though in this whole
Me too.
media split that between Warner Brothers Discovery, because it would suck, because like I said, they put a lot of eggs in that Warner Brothers Discovery basket. So
Absolutely. I do hope that they um does nothing bad happens. I think all of us want AEW to still be around. Reading some comments here. Weston right here. If I'm AEW, I'm saying I need to get on a streaming platform. Rather, it's Hulu or stay completely on Max. But Alan right here for real. Close AEW, go fully to Prime, where the pay-per-views are on.
So Prime pay-per-views are different than like the TV. So there's two different divisions in that. Prime's just taking AEW's pay-per-views. They'll get like a percentage of the cut. That Prime pay-per-view is different than Prime Video. So I don't know if that's the route they want to take. I think it'll be fine. Hulu though, Weston, the thing is, Hulu, they want you on a cable network so you can sign up for Hulu TV. They don't want like a live streaming sport. They want where you're on a cable network. So be interesting for sure.
Yeah, it is. But again, we'll see how this develops in the upcoming weeks, months, and I think I read somewhere where it said this might take an effect by the end of 2026, going into 2027. So we'll see what happens by that time. But thank you, Chick, because again, I didn't know how to phrase all that stuff, so I'll let you just talk about that more.
There's no way we can.
I know.
Not talk about that. Like, what are we doing?
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Now let's get into UFC 316 that went down this Saturday. I did watch that live because my cousin was sharing it on stuff, and overall, Chase, what were your thoughts as a whole on the show at the Prudential Center?
Very solid card. Crowd was very hot, especially in the main event. They were very, very loud, and yeah, I thought it was solid for the most part. Not the best UFC card, but solid.
Of course. So overall, I thought it was a solid card for the most part. We did have Kevin Holland getting a win over Vicente Luque, made him submit. So that was good to see in round 2. I believe this is 2 in a row now for Kevin Holland, right? This is 2 in a row, 2 wins back to back.
Yes, 2 big wins.
And you know what? If I'm him, to stay at welterweight, bro. Don't go back up to 185, but that's his choice, obviously. Patchy Mix, in his UFC debut, I believe he was the former Bellator bantamweight champion. I believe that was the case, or whatever it was. And people were having high expectations. Oh, this guy's gonna kill it in the UFC. He's gonna beat Mario Bautista, and well, that didn't happen. Mario Bautista ended up beating him in a decision. Look, is it octagon jitters? For sure. Hopefully though, Patchy Mick does pick it up. Your thoughts on this fight, Chase?
Yeah, I figured that Patchy Mix was going to struggle against Batista just a little bit. Batista is on an 8-fight win streak, and he's a very good striker. He's never been finished, so I was shocked that I was seeing that like a lot of Patchy Mix's like finishing odds were like juiced. They were thinking that Patchy Mix was going to run through Mario Batista, but Batista has beaten some good quality people, and I figured that he was going to go out swinging and he was going to outstrike Patchy Mix, which he totally did. Patchy Mix, he had some moments in the fight. He did rock Batista in the second and third round, so like not rock him, but like he got him stunned a little bit. So I really did felt that Patchy Mix. I did really think that Patrick McSee just didn't show up, and Mario Batista did, and so Mario Batista won.
Yeah. And then obviously, after this, we did get Joe Pfeiffer versus Calvin Gastelum. Um, Joe Pfeiffer looked like he was gonna put him away in the first round, and then for some odd reason, it looked like he got gassed out a little bit, and this fight went all the way to 3 rounds. And obviously, Joe Pfeiffer did pick up the W. Um, yeah, man, would you agree it's time for Calvin Gastelum to put the gloves away, or
Nah, he can still fight. He's just not a top contender anymore.
yeah, for sure. But
No, don't put the gloves away. I like Kelvin Gastelum. That wasn't a bad fight. Why would we put the gloves away for him?
I don't know, because I think for a lot of people, like he's too short for the division. Like he remember he came in at
Man, he's
he's
fine.
fair enough. But for Joe Pfeiffer, man, yeah, he got the win, and let's see where things go for him at 185. But then we get to the co-main and main event, and you know, I think there are a lot of people who are going into the co-main and main event like, oh, you know what? Both fight might go to distance. And well, not quite. Both co-main and main event ended up in finishes here. We start off here with the women's bantamweight championship match. Juliana Pena submitting to Kayla Harrison in round 2. And look, man, good for Kayla Harrison. The story itself is, how she almost gave up. She was, I guess, trying to cut down the 1 pound, and she was struggling, but she fought through it. And I also factor in she's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Mm-hmm.
She is, I believe, to my understanding, and again, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. She is a 2-division champion in PFL, right?
One division.
One division, yeah, 1-division champion in PFL.
She fought at lightweight, so the 155 class.
Yeah, and the big thing was for her, hey, because she get down to 135. She passed that hurdle, and now here she is, man. And what this did was that after the fight, she called out Amanda Nunes, and she got into the cage. They had that stare off, right? And likely that's the swan song for both women, right? What do you say?
What?
Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Like once this is done, like both women.
For Amanda Nunes, it is. For Kayla Harrison, I think she will keep going. If you beat the GOAT, why not try to prove that you're the best of all time? She still has a bunch of women in that division that people expect. It's up to her if she wants to make the weight cut. I mean,
Yeah.
she's going to make a lot of money off this Amanda Nunes fight. If she wants to leave, sure, go right ahead. But I think she wants to, not only just crush Amanda, she wants to also prove that, like, whatever she did, I can do better. And what she did to Juliana Pena was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, indeed it was. Indeed. Then we got the main event. We had Marab Dvalishvili defending the title in the rematch now against the former champion Sean O'Malley. With Sean O'Malley, obviously you get the whole character, right? The rainbow braids, the whole gimmick, right? The whole shtick. And this time he was all serious, regular, no color braids. He didn't walk out to Lupe Fiasco, right? Just I'm proud to be American, right? And the thing was, in the first fight, he fought with one shoulder. He needed surgery. He was focused, right? He quit smoking. He quit, drinking and all that stuff. And what impressed me here was the fact that he was able to defend multiple takedown attempts. But then he got caught.
Mm-hmm.
And as improvement that Sean O'Malley made, Morab was just better. When it was all said and done. And obviously he submits him. I believe it was a up and down choke, I believe it was, right?
Yeah,
And
it was a neck crank. He got him in a neck crank, and he pretty much just was cranking that neck, and then O'Malley just kind of like laid there, and then uh got onto his back, and then Marab cranked the neck, and then put his shoulder also down on his head, and that looked painful. And so I don't blame O'Malley. He had to tap. I mean, if there was like 10 seconds less, I think he would have powered it out. But after getting beaten up, not just on the ground, on the feet, Marab
yeah,
looked incredible. Like, I told people this, and I kind of predicted fight to the T. If he fought like how he fought before, he's not beating Marab. And he fought how he fought before. He fought as a counter striker, and you're not beating Marab as a counter striker, you got to be aggressive with him. But it's hard to be aggressive with a guy like Marab because when you get too aggressive, he will take you down. And if you get taken down in the middle of the octagon, it's worse than getting taken down on the fences. At least with the fences, you can use the fence to help you get back up and stuff. But yeah, Marab looked very impressive. It's going to be hard to figure out who can stop him. And yeah, he's a great fighter, Marab. He's a great fighter indeed.
And I think next is Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
And then from there we'll see. But that should be a good fight though. When they do decide to get in there, so that should be a good fight. And not for nothing too, but Corey Sandhagen, long overdue, right? Title match, long overdue.
Yeah, long overdue, but he's fought Umar and Peter Yan, and he hasn't beat them. So it's like kind of like you haven't beaten the guys that like Marab has crushed. Like Marab crushed Peter Yan. Marab pretty much beat Umar Nurmagomedov. Like he beat those guys, and especially the Umar fight weren't even close. Umar washed you in that fight. Peter Yan, you were close for the first half of it, but then Yan turned it on in the third and fourth and fifth round. So you didn't even beat those guys. So it's like to me, it's like, are you really the number one contender? Like, especially what we saw Umar did to him.
Yeah.
Who's to say Marab's not going to do the same shit? Like,
for sure, but we'll see how that goes. But I do know next week though, it is a fight. It's Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. That should be. So we'll see. Can Kamaru? Do you think he has a chance against Joaquin Buckley, or do you think?
Yeah, Usman does. Yeah,
for sure. We'll see.
What are we doing here? Like Buckley's strong and powerful, but I think Usman has a chance. And Bishop, we did talk about Ron killings at the beginning of the stream. If you want to go backwards, you can hear it. But me and Steve both said it's not a work. It's a shoot. It's a shoot. It's not a work.
Yes, for sure.
Working like that is just stupid.
So. Yeah, it is. It is fucked up. So hopefully, again, I'm happy for Ron Killing. Happy that he's back. And again, all this happened because the fans voiced out, not just the fan, but talent as well. And overall, Ron Killing is just a good dude, man. I'm happy to see that he's back. But just to give you guys a quick little update here, just like last week, there will not be a sad watch along this Wednesday once again. But it'll be back to regular programming next week. But this Thursday, there will be a sad review, if you will. And hopefully AEW corrects the mistake and put also some emphasis on Collision. Because that's the case, I could just recap Dynamite and that's it. Collision. Hopefully they correct that, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for Raw Rundown as well. Again, we talked about this moments ago, but Raw does look like it's going to be a very, very a good show. By the way the card just stacked and what's going to happen and stuff like that. And yeah, but thank you guys for tuning in. Much love to all of you guys as always. You guys can follow the Around the Point Network over on X at AT Point Network. Follow me on X at Heel Steven Chase. Let them know where can the fine folks check you out.
You can follow me on X at ChaseOtter68.
Thank you guys. Yes, follow them there. That's going to be it for us, guys. Much love to all of you. For myself, for Chase, and for the gang, this has been Steve's Kitchen here on the Around the Point Network.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.